Coming up on this week's episode of FlashTalk, Kent State men's basketball head coach Rob Senderoff previews his team's MAC tournament run. Women's basketball head coach Todd Starkey does the same, and how his team can have an underdog mentality heading into Cleveland. Kent State track and field star Ayden talks about his fantastic indoor season and what he needs to do come the outdoor season. And finally, Kent State softball head coach Jess O'Donnell talks about her team's home opener and MAC opening series. All that and more coming up in a flash. Kent State men's basketball head coach here on Flash Talk, Rob Senderoff. Coach Sendy, as always, appreciate you joining me. We'll first touch on senior night. Another nice win against Western Michigan. 14 league wins, at least 14 league wins for the third time in the last 5 seasons. How good did it feel to get that win on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, it's great for all the guys in the program, and especially Morgan and Rob, but everybody associated with the program. I mean, it's not easy to do. This year in particular, a lot of these games were down to the wire, close games, and we've sort of found a way to come out on top more times than not. So, 14-4 is a really successful regular season. Overall, having 23 wins, 8 losses, certainly something all these guys can be proud of. And now we're into, the conference tournament, and everybody who's up there in Cleveland 0-0, and everybody's trying to get 3 wins in a row to win the conference championship.
Let's start with the quarterfinal matchup Thursday night. You guys play the last quarterfinal 3-6 matchup with the Ohio Bobcats, a game you won by 15 earlier in January at home. Tell us about that matchup, Coach.
It was a lot closer game than the final score. Going into the last media timeout, it was a 1 or 2 possession game, and it was back and forth for most of the game. So have a lot of respect for their program. Their coach, who's been there for a long time as well, has done a really good job year after year. One of the best point guards in the league in Jackson Pavlevsky, one of the best bigs in the league in Javen Simmons. So they have a good team. Very competitive. Everybody probably watched that game against Miami Friday night, which was one of the, best college games of the year. So I'm sure they're going to be playing with a ton of confidence, and it's going to be a challenge for us. But, our guys are also playing with a lot of confidence, and, we have experience, and we've won a lot of close games. So we go up to Cleveland in that last game of the first day and play as hard as we can and compete as hard as we can for 40 minutes.
Coach, how do you try and deal with the challenge of making sure you guys are ready to go, but also playing loose in the tournament and they're playing their best basketball amidst all the pressure of the MAC tournament?
I think our guys have been pretty good in those moments, like the tight games. That's part of why I think we've won a lot of them. Our guys really know how to play under that type of pressure, I guess is what you call it. But you just try to compete as hard as you can. That's really what the game is about. Can't worry about much more than that. If you compete as hard as you can, you pay attention to the details that we give you. You compete as hard as you can. You play for each other. And then, the chips fall where they may. You have to have a little bit of luck. There's a lot of things that go into winning up there. But at the end of the day, you just want to be able to look at your teammate and know that you gave everything you could for our team and for each other.
As we finish the regular season and head into the MAC tournament, tell me how this year's group specifically for you as a coach was unique.
Each team is different, and each team brings its own challenges. We introduced a little bit different way of playing offensively, and with Rob Rico having some really good front court players and really just having one primary ball handler in Sion. I thought our guys did a good job defensively. There were certainly times in the year where, I'm used to us being a little bit more disruptive on defense. But again, during the season, we made a change at some point in terms of how we're guarding certain types of actions, and it's helped us. We finished 4th defensively in conference play. When we made that change, we were 11th at the time. So, you make adjustments, you try to grow as a group, try to play your best basketball now. You try to play for each other as hard as you can now. You gotta want the season to continue more than the other team wants it to continue. It's been a fun group. And each group, during the year while you're going through it, it's every day, it feels like an endless day that never ends. And then what happens is you blink and here you are in March and, you're one game away from it ending. So you want your guys to play with that urgency and to just understand, hey, let's live in the moment, play as hard as we can. And enjoy the time that we have together.
Rob Senderoff, tournament matchup quarterfinal against Ohio, tip-off at approximately 6:30. Coach Sendy, thanks so much.
All right, great.
Hi, I'm Marcus Leto. I'm the co-creator of the Halo universe and the creator of the Master Chief. Kent State really taught me to think like a designer, not just to build visuals, but to build worlds. I mean, that was all this fire in my belly that I just wanted to kind of create something that was different. The program here really helped give me the tools to enter the workforce. And I still look back to Kent State as a foundation that allows me now to do the kind of stuff that I can do.
Looking to revamp your home? Let Fair Painters, owned by Kent State football legend Brian Winters, tackle the job. From flawless interior painting to precise drywall repair and stunning cabinet refinishing, we've got you covered. Our local team in Streetsboro ensures top quality craftsmanship, fast service, and a 10% discount for veterans. Make your home look its best with the pros you can trust. Visit fairpainters.com or call 888-602-3247 for your free estimate today. Fair Painters, where fair meets quality. Joined here on Flash Talk by Kent State softball head coach Jessica O'Donnell. Coach O'Donnell, home opener coming up this Friday against the newest member of the Mid-American Conference, UMass. How eager are your players to get on to Divine Diamond and battle it out there?
You have no idea. We actually just pulled the tarp yesterday from just the winter mess that was out there, and I think it was like the perfect field conditions for us, and I know how excited they were when I sent them a message that the tarp is pulled. We're going to be able to be out there on practice on Tuesday, and we're super excited just to be able to be in front of our home crowd and be on our home field and just have that advantage. I think we're super excited.
One of your transfers has been statistically your best hitter so far, Ashlyn Porter. What has made her so successful at the plate in the early going?
She's so strong, so consistent. She comes to work every day. She will work when nobody sees her. She doesn't make it a well-known thing that she's out and about putting in extra. She's just a tough player all the way around and really wants to continue to get better and help the team however she can. And she's just a great asset to us.
Callie Shallis, 6 home runs for you guys as a freshman. You talked glowingly about her last year when you mentioned her in the recruiting class, nearby kid from Walsh Jesuit. Did you expect her to showcase this type of power in the early going?
I absolutely did. I just knew that she was the type of player that was hardworking, knew how to play the game, very knowledgeable, very good IQ. I knew she was going to come in and do well for us. So I'm excited that it's been able to show and that my projections came true. But yeah, I have nothing but great things to say about her. She's doing a phenomenal job.
Your pitching staff, Riley Miller, a freshman, you've used her the most so far. Where has she improved already this season?
Every time she takes that mound, she gets better and better. And I think just her mentality, her composure, her just fight to be the best she can out there for the team. I think she knew, both her and Meadow coming in, freshman, knew that was an area we really need to attack in the offseason. And I just love the way they've taken the ball and really been so determined out there to just take care of business and, again, continue to help the team. We had Riley's best performance, I think, so far came against Robert Morris. Just so impressed with her to go the distance. And even through a loss, we played UNC Greensboro, and she just, on day 2, just a completely different pitcher out there. So she's continuing to learn and grow every day. Just so impressed.
You did play some tough competition out in Tuscaloosa, St. Thomas, South Florida, Alabama, all obviously very good teams. How can those type of teams prepare you for MAC play to pull out some wins?
They definitely challenged us. I think it was obviously a great environment for us to be in. I tell our team every year I want to put us in that environment as much as possible, because ultimately, if the goal is to play in a postseason environment, that is what you would expect and see. So I want to get us at kind of that experience early so they can't come back and say, hey, we had no idea what to expect. It's like, no, we knew. And then obviously just having those sort of games going into conference play with that sort of pitching staff and those just those teams in general, I think is really good to know that like, hey, we can hang with them, but it's going to take a little bit of extra. We really had to get back to work this last week, took a little bit of time off, but now I think really just continue to have confidence, believe in ourselves, and make the little tiny adjustments that we've learned, and I really think we're going to be okay.
You've had a handful of freshmen get consistent at-bats down south early in the non-conference season. How crucial is it that they've gotten those type of at-bats? So right now is when they can really start to hit their stride.
We've got 5 to 6 freshmen starting every game. That's kind of unheard of and different across the country. But that's great. It's great for the long run. It's great for heading into conference and knowing that they've had experience, just like a lot of the returners have, and just being put into crucial situations. I mean, we have freshmen batting in anywhere from 3, 4, 5, 6 hole, just unique situations that they've really embraced and don't have the nerves with them. So I think kind of exposing that to them early has allowed them to get the nerves out of the system and allow them to play their best ball heading into MAC.
I know it's a long conference season, Coach, but how crucial is it winning that first series just to kind of carry some momentum through the rest of the season?
Absolutely crucial. I think just like you want to win the first game of the season, it's the same thing when it comes to first MAC conference series. It really sets the tone for the season. Last year we played Miami right off the bat, and I think that was a little bit, yes, we played them really tight, but at the same time, it was kind of defeating to boom, lose 3 right off the bat, and then feel like you're kind of climbing out that hole. So it is extremely important that we're the ones kind of setting the tone for ourselves, setting the stage, and just putting us in a great position to continue to keep the momentum going versus trying to climb out of a hole.
The little things sometimes decide some of these games in the Mid-American Conference, but if your team does blank this weekend, you guys are going to come out with a series winner possibly this week.
If we have great energy and excitement and passion for this game, I don't know that you're expecting all 3 of those things, but I really do believe when this team is excited and they love the game that we play our best ball versus being stressed and kind of tight. I think that's with anyone, but really when this team comes together, plays with passion and love for the game and just loves each other and wants to play for each other, we're in really good hands and really good shape.
Home opener and MAC opener this Friday and Saturday, Kent State softball against UMass at Divine Diamond. Kent State softball head coach Jessica O'Donnell. Coach O'Donnell, thanks for the time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
For every just one more mile to your next ace on the court, when you have a sports-related injury, Cleveland Clinic is here. For our Cavaliers, our Guardians, and athletes at all levels, our sports medicine team helps keep you in the game. With expert diagnosis, personalized sports therapies, and game-changing surgeries. For every injury, for every athlete, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Today, the world could use a little more understanding. Understanding nurtured by shared values. We come together at Kent State. Different dreams, different viewpoints, united by purpose. Preparing to make a difference in our divided world. Wherever you are in your life's journey, come learn with us. Begin at Kent State.
Joined here on Flash Talk by Kent State men's track and field senior Ayden Bath. Ayden, appreciate you joining the show.
Thank you.
Field Performer of the Year in the indoor season. Heptathlon, decathlon in the spring. When you came into the year, Field Performer of the Year, was that one of your goals?
My biggest goal was just to go out there and compete as well as I know I can. Obviously, I think Nationals was kind of the big one. Ultimately did fall short, but we gave it all and we tried really hard.
Moving into the outdoor season, I know it's a little bit of a shift. You go from 7 events to 10 events, but of all those different things that you have to train up and do, what is your favorite?
So many of the events have my heart. I'll always be a hurdle, high jump guy at heart. But being able to learn a bunch of these new events, I think pole vault has grown to be kind of one of my favorite.
What event have you grown and improved the most since you came in until now?
Honestly, all of them. Some of my marks are kind of similar from what they were kind of out of high school. But just growing mentally as an athlete has been huge. I know my high jump's pretty consistent, but that's all you really need. But events like the hurdles, pole vault, long jump are all events that have exponentially grown.
You said you've grown mentally. How so? Can you take me into that more?
The decathlon or any multi-event, It's grueling hours over 2 days. You're really battling out there. Sometimes you can kind of fall apart. So to be able to hone in on myself, be able to battle with the challenge of pushing yourself to the limits has really been big, and keeping myself kind of sane while I'm at it.
There's so many different events that you have to compete in. How do you try and train up for each and every one of them?
So that's one thing that makes training for the multi very special, is every day something new. You're not going and doing the same event over and over again, so it never gets boring. We're training 3 events a day. It might be a limited time, but we don't mess around. We get in, we get out, and we put in the hard work, and over time that kind of just adds up.
How do you make sure your body physically is ready? Is there a routine that you really stick to every single day?
So it's really just listening to your body. As much as, you have to take care of yourself physically, with, the great set of trainers that we have helping us out. They do a wonderful job with getting beat up. But the physical aspect is there too. You can't let yourself completely focus on track 24/7 or on a sport. Sometimes you have to step away and, do something that you enjoy, to not only put yourself in a mental position to be ready to compete, but also kind of allow yourself physically to rest.
What puts you at peace?
Honestly, track. Track is, as much as it is physically demanding and mentally demanding, it's kind of let me be able to be myself, and kind of be that meditation.
Moving into outdoor season, tell me your goals.
At the end of the year, the USA Outdoor Championships are going to be in New York. So that'd be something to kind of get my name out there and look to, hopefully step into that professional realm.
Tell me why your time at Kent State has been special to you, and where do you feel like you've grown the most as a person?
Growth overall has kind of been the main thing here. Stepping from high school here, I took the chance to, take every opportunity that's kind of put in front of me. I'm able to work with a lot of administrators, coaches, all the student athletes here at Kent, and the people just want to see you grow. They are really truly here for you. So I feel like that's what kind of has led me be able to accomplish what I have.
If you are going to, get to potentially Eugene or New York and compete, what events or what are you going to have to do to improve on a little bit to get there and reach your goals?
Focus on myself. A lot of the times there's a lot of noise from the outside, kind of pressuring you to do one thing or another, and kind of, when you just, as a lot of people like to say, lock in. It's kind of easy to tell yourself, okay, this is what I want to do, I will accomplish it.
Kent State track and field star Ayden Bath. Ayden, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Coming up this week in Kent State Athletics, brought to you by KSU Ticks. Men's basketball MAC tournament action tip-off approximately anywhere from 6:30 to 7:30, 3-6 matchup in the quarterfinal. Men's Hoops takes on Ohio, trying to advance to Friday or Saturday. We'll keep you updated. Could be MAC tournament action also for Kent State women's basketball. On Friday and Saturday, home opener for Kent State softball, doubleheader Friday at Divine Diamond, finishes up the series on Saturday afternoon at noon. Baseball is back at home at Schoonover Stadium Friday, Saturday, Sunday for a 3-game set against Central Michigan. On Saturday, lacrosse with their MAC opener. They travel to Ypsilanti, Michigan to take on Eastern Michigan. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, men's golf is back in action in the General Hackler Invitational hosted by Coastal Carolina, and gymnastics hosts Eastern Michigan inside the MAC Center for a 1 p.m. start. And finally, on Tuesday, softball takes part in a doubleheader at Robert Morris. First pitch in Game 1 at 2 p.m. and baseball at Schoonover Stadium in a midweek battle against Wright State for a 3 p.m. first pitch. As always, you can buy your tickets at ksutix.com. If you want more info on your favorite Flashes teams, visit kentstatesports.com or go to the Go Flashes app. We'll be back with more right after this. Joined once again on Flash Talk by Kent State women's basketball head coach Todd Starkey. Coach, a senior day win against Central Michigan. How good did it feel to send those 4 seniors out with a W?
Answer that for yourself. I mean, obviously feels good to get that win, and was really proud of our team. Had a lot of, on senior days, there's a lot of distractions, right? You got families coming in, you got ceremonies and framed jerseys and all those different types of things. And you just hope that everybody can be focused enough to play with great energy. I thought our team did a great job of playing for our seniors. We got off to a solid start. Second and third quarters were really good for us, especially defensively. And, with some different lineups down the stretch, they made a little bit of a run there at the end. But overall, I thought we did a really good job of controlling those emotions and getting a win for those 4 seniors.
How has this year been challenging but rewarding for you?
Oh, I mean, the challenges are well documented, obviously, with I think up to 9 or 10 different starting lineups this year, and we only had 4 players on the roster that didn't have some form of injury or miss multiple games. So that's significant, right? So it required a lot of adjusting and adaptability from our coaching staff and from our players. I thought everybody did a really good job for the most part of staying bought in and dialed into what we were doing and continuing to do a great job of focusing on getting better. I think our team continued to improve throughout the year, especially, you look back and us starting 0-4 in the league and still getting to Cleveland, going 9-5 the rest of the way and really putting ourselves in a 3-way tie for 6th place in the league and getting up to Cleveland again. I'm really proud of this group and their resiliency.
You've coached a number of times in Cleveland. You won a championship 2 years ago. How do you guys as a coaching staff make sure your players have the right mindset when they go into that type of environment?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we have some players on this roster that were on that championship team in 24, and they get, they've walked those hallways, been in those locker rooms, understand the flow of getting up there and what it feels like. So we'll lean a lot on their experience as well, and I think this group is as ready as they're going to be at this point. And so, the old coaching cliche, everybody's 0-0 at this point. It's true. We just have to. We don't have to be better than anybody we play all season. We just have to be better than them for 40 minutes at this point. And so that's what our focus is on, and playing our best basketball right here when it matters most.
The first matchup is Miami. Specifically when it comes to ball pressure with your team, how do you guys make sure you guys are careful with the ball while also being aggressive?
There's a fine line there, right? We got to make sure we continue to stay aggressive. There's some really good defensive teams in Cleveland that like to turn you over. I think for us to have success in Cleveland, we're going to need to, like you alluded to, we have to have great ball security, limit live ball turnovers, but it also comes down to finishing defensive possessions as well. Forcing tough shots and then keeping teams off the offensive glass and not allowing them to have second chances. Miami's a really talented team. There's a reason why they're the number 1 seed, and we're excited for the opportunity to play them, but our margin for error against them is pretty small.
Do you emphasize maybe the underdog mentality a little bit with this team?
Well, I mean, I don't know how much you talk about that, but what I do know is that there's no pressure on us. I think the quarterfinal games are the toughest ones for the higher seed, and we experienced that a couple years ago. Our closest game in the championship run was our quarterfinal game against NIU. It was a 6-point game, and it was really tough to get past that. So there's a little bit of fear and angst for and anxiety for the higher seeds in Cleveland, in that there's no buys in our conference tournament. So everybody shows up with the same amount of rest. It's you got to be better than the other team for 40 minutes. And so do I think that gives us, that's probably the only advantage that we have is that, the number 1 seed always plays a little bit of anxiety on day one. And so, our focus has to be on us playing really solid basketball. Like I said, we need our best performances of the year right here in March when the games matter most.
Corinne Hauser played once in Cleveland her freshman year, was unable to play in that championship run due to injury, didn't play last year. How cool is it going to be to see her play on the court in Cleveland again?
I'm just excited that she's back and able to be playing. She's not 100%. She's been playing, still coming back from that injury, has not been full strength, but has shown moments of the Corinne Hauser of old. So we certainly are glad to have her back in the lineup, and I know she'll be excited to play in Cleveland.
Kent State women's basketball head coach Todd Starkey ahead of his team's MAC tournament coming up this Wednesday. Coach, thanks so much.
Sounds good. Go Flashes.
That'll do it for this week's episode of Flash Talk. Make sure you tune in next week. We definitely hope to be talking some NCAA tournament basketball with you. You never know. March is madness. For our entire GFTV studio, Ethan Lachinsky, Justin Spots, I'm Dane Richardson saying good night and go Flashes. Attention Golden Flash fans, when it's time to make your next big move, choose the team that's officially in your corner. Green Lending, the exclusive mortgage partner of Kent State Athletics. Right now, when you mention Kent State, Green Lending will cover your appraisal, helping you save money from the very start. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, refinancing, or tapping into your home's equity, Green Lending delivers personalized service, expert guidance, and a transparent mortgage process. Make a winning move off the court. Visit greenlending.com, mention Kent State, and let Green Lending help you upgrade your home ownership experience.
At Kent State, we have embraced the idea that we are the institution where students get an opportunity to develop a global perspective. We want students to know if they go to Kent State, they have the world a la carte.